Hello, everybody. Here we are on the free to play. So, let's start with the big news of the day. All right. So, we now have a new form of pass. In addition to the Forge Pass, we now have the Champion Pass. And we got with it a new champion, Xena the Warrior Princess, from the show that I don't know about you guys, but I grew up with the show. I never watched it, to be honest. Occasionally, I would watch a few episodes of Hercules, which was a show that they had like the crossovers in, but I never watched Xena. Um, but still seems like a pretty cool champion from I haven't had as much time to like full blown research her, but it does sound like she's going to be a pretty big unit in the PvP scene as far as a damage dealer goes. So, um, but let's get into the drama that comes with Xena. So, the Elite Pass for Xena is $40. So if you were to pay $40 at the end of this pass, you would then be able to get Xena. Now, for those of us that are free to play, we will not have access to Xena through this pass, provided you break your free to play, right? Um, there's a lot of drama about this price point, not just that it's $40 for a champion, which is steep in itself, but also because the rewards you get along the way aren't really that good. I mean, the 5-star chicken is decent. That's pretty low on silver, pretty low on gems. For an elite pass for $40. We've got a clan boss key in here. I mean, look, these can come in handy from time to time, but I don't know of anybody that's like, man, I wish I could pay money for more clan boss keys. Um, the gems are low, Plarium points, and five of them at that. So there are some questions about the value in the paid area. So I wanted to address those. It's a big point of contention. The community is very upset about it. The raid community in general, and rightfully so. Even on my paid account, I don't know that I would want to pursue, um, you know, this champion with money like that. So you know, I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to let you guys know what's going on in that space. But um, if we were to look at it from a free to play perspective, so let's look at it from free to play. So right out the gate, this whole bottom row doesn't matter. So then, what does this pass give us for free? Gives us some pretty nice stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Now, this is pretty small potatoes as far as energy, but a 5-star cruel. So if you're not able to do clan boss at a high difficulty right now, you may be struggling to find some 5-star cruel gear. So that's pretty good in itself. 6-star cruel gear is even better. Now obviously this has to roll well, so there is a good chance that you could get flat stats on this chest and end up not using it. But still, I mean, if these roll even somewhat decent for the 6-star pieces, and then these are 6-star legendary pieces, this I want to point out. So one of the flaws here about these two 6-star pieces, right, is that they could roll flat stats as the main stat, which I've talked about before, for me is a no-go on a piece of gear. The moment I see flat stats on gloves, chest, or boots, it's deleted. Every time, no exceptions. That's just my rule. Someone tried to give me a comment and say that there are scenarios where the flat stats are better, maybe early game or something, but no, like it's not worth it. I'm sure there's math out there that's gonna tell me I'm wrong, but the general rule of thumb, you want percent based stats. But what I really like about this piece right here So for your weapon, your helm, and your shield, those are always going to be flat stats, and they're always the same stats. Weapon is attack, helm is HP, and shields are defense. So why I love seeing a 6-star shield here, obviously you could get really bad rolls of like all flat substats or something like that. Um, but let's say that this just rolls like defense and well, it has to roll defense percent is the best you could get on it. Um, for me, I just like that it's a legendary piece, so you're gonna get a lot of rolls on it. Number one, and number two, it's gonna provide really good stats to early game accounts, even if it doesn't land crit rate or crit damage or some of the other stuff that you really want on a piece like this. It could still be a pretty good. I use this term from WoW called a stat stick, where you're basically just even you're just using it to give your champion some more stats, whether it's HP, defense, speed, accuracy, crit rate, crit damage, whatever the case may be. So it may not necessarily be something that you would use on your DPS, on your nukers, but it could still be a good gear. So just the fact alone that it's 6 stars and legendary means that it has a higher chance of being pretty good, at least in my opinion. Could you get flat HP, flat defense, and then I don't really, because even if it had like speed and accuracy, that's good stats to put, you know, just look at it as a 6-star shield with speed and accuracy. Don't even worry about cruel, right? So I mean, I don't know. I'm excited about that piece. I think that that's going to be very good for free to play accounts that are as early as our account is right now. Now the boots are another story because these can roll flat stats like we were just talking about and end up being potentially worthless. But here is the big winner, the big kicker for this pass is the Sacred Shard. This is a free Sacred Shard. You just have to play the game. That's huge. Sacreds are very hard to come by, especially for free to play accounts. So if you were to just ignore the drama around the pay to play portion of it and just focus on the free to play portion, I feel pretty happy with it. And I gotta say, so far we're only 2 rotations of the challenges in, but they're pretty easy. For 2 days in a row now, I've gotten points for just logging into the game, using silver and using energy, which are things that we're gonna do anyways. Like, these are achievable challenges. When you flip that and look at the Forge Pass challenges, upgrading boots to level 8, that's easy. Win 3 classic arena battles using at least 1 force champion. You know what? That actually, I don't think I can do that. Okay, so I have to cheese it. But look, this is my normal team. I don't have a force champion in here, so I'm going to have to do this. Thankfully, I had a single champion that I could do. But these challenges are a little bit harder. I'm not saying that they're impossible, it's just they're a little bit harder than what I've seen so far out of the champion pass compared to the Forge Pass. I'm going to do it 3 times. My bad. Oh, that's going to be rough. Okay. I don't know who I'm going to... they're so tanky. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to knock these out because while I'm thinking about it, and hopefully we can find another squishy team here that we can knock out, because I'm giving up. Hey, there we go. All right. Well, hey, I got that one done, but you could see how that gave me some trouble, right? Like, I don't have a strong force champion, at least not one that fits into my arena team. So that could definitely pose an actual challenge to me versus just logging in and spending silver, which and it spends silver, right? Let me, yeah, use 50,000 silver. That's like the easiest, like 50,000 silver. I mean, that's you just do that playing the game. I mean, I haven't really done anything all that crazy. Yeah, that's what I've been doing is upgrading champions. So that's 4,000 silver right there. I mean, do that a couple times and your or yeah, even upgrading like your 3 stars is almost 10,000. So there you go. So it's been very easy for me to generate that portion um of this event. So I assume the challenges are going to get tougher, but this if they stay this amount for the entire event, which is 12 weeks long, and I've already I'm on average 2 per cycle of challenges. So that's 2 per day pretty much. I mean, pretty quick to get in this sacred here. So as a free to play, I'm happy with the direction that they took. Would I love to get a champion like this as a free to play? Absolutely, but that's not what this they're doing with this champion. That's not the intent of this champion. And we still have champions like that. I mean, Sun Wukong is that champion, right? Sun Wukong is a strong PvP champion that I got for free just for playing the game for 7 days. So, and we know another one, we don't know, I guess, but there will be another one around the corner unless all of a sudden Plarium got super greedy and decided to stop offering those. But so far, those have been big boosts to their player count. So I don't foresee those going away anytime soon. So from a free to play perspective, if I look past the drama in the play to win scene, I think this isn't that bad. I think this is pretty good to be able to get a sacred for free. Could the rewards be a little bit better? Sure. I mean, everyone's going to want that. We're always going to want an opportunity to get, just fill this thing up with legendaries. Just give me 25 legendaries and we'll call it a day. You got to be a little bit realistic and and say that they're going to hold stuff back. But I think as far as the game goes in general, maybe not the multi-battle so much, but most of this is stuff that I want and will benefit my account in some way. Okay. So that's the big news out of the way. New champion, and the pass. Now let's talk about a couple of other things on the account. So the tournament that, obviously I skipped the spider turn attack and everything, but I did think it was very interesting to me to see that our goal for this tournament was only in the 3,000s on the free to play. On my main account, it's 6,000. On Hell Hades, another content creator, he had 10,000 points to get the rare, which I found to be very, very interesting about how big the difference is there. The other event we have going on is the Fiery Singles Path. This is a very interesting event. I gotta tell you, if it wasn't so expensive, I would 100% go all in for this champion. The problem is, I just flat out don't have the resources. In order to get her, I think it's 104,000 points. Um, which was like, if you did it via energy, it was like 20,000 energy. If you pulled shards, you would have needed, um, just to take this path straight down and get Kira, I think you would have needed like over 20 some sacreds. I watched a video on the math. I watched it this morning and don't remember what it was that they said. But unfortunately, as always, this just isn't something that's free to play accessible. I had hoped maybe, well, one thing that you could target as a free to play, you could try and go for these books here. Those are probably going to have the most value for a free to play account. Um, Maybe if you need a rare book for whatever reason, you could try and go here, but those are pretty easy to get for free to play. beyond that, I don't know that it's worth it to dive too deep elsewhere. Maybe going for the Immortal Soul Stones, but that's a lot of work to get down to those at 7,000 and having to go back through these other paths. I think these books are a pretty good value and they're achievable. So I chose this path first because I would prefer the gems over the XP or the what's that word called, XP boost. Yeah, um so that's the path that I recommend going down. At the very least, I think it's pretty easy just by playing the game that you might be able to grab this epic book, which can be very handy to have. So those are kind of the events going on. I don't think, yeah, we talked about that tournament. We do have Classic Arena Takedown coming up. That's a great way to get some Relentless gear if you're in a pretty easy tournament bracket. I'm not going to worry about Sand Devil Turn Attack on my account. We do have a champion training tournament now. If you're like me and you did go for this um, champion training event, which only has 6 hours left, you can see I'm not at a great pace right now. Now, a lot of this has to do with just my inability, not inability, but I haven't really been playing, and I also haven't been putting enough resources into this. Um, I could afford to put some gems into this. I could afford to put some of my saved up uh energy into it as well. Um, so I will be doing that tonight. I'm definitely, I know it's only 6 hours left, but I farm at a pretty decent rate and I have the resources I think to push through and try and get this. The big thing though is that it may result in me having to upgrade one of my 5 stars. Um because right now I think I have two. No, I don't know. I'll probably be able to get through it without having to upgrade a 5 star, but I may have all my food ready for my next 5 star. So, um, Husk is a really solid candidate, especially now that we're doing Hydra. Um, Armiger is a solid candidate because we really could use some turn meter control now. Eris probably not so much. I do think that I really need to consider getting Petrifia upgraded and in place of Kale. Um, Let me look at her kit real quick. Each hit has a 20% chance of. Oh, that's decreased defense. No, so 100% when booked, and then so one big version of poison for 2 turns. Was it on each hit? No, just the second hit. And then 3 times. This is Kale's ability. 3 times at random. 25, 35, 40% chance of placing sensitivity. If all hits land on the same target, replaces a big version of poison. So 2 big version of poisons. This one's not even guaranteed, but you do get the poison sensitivity. I'd love to pair her with Kale. So now that we've got the support structure, maybe we replace Coffin Smasher. I mean, the big reason we went with Coffin Smasher was for his passive more than any, and he brought decreased attack, but now we get the decreased attack from Ursula, and we probably get the equivalent of survivability that we get from Coffin Smasher from her increased defense and strengthen. So we don't know for sure. 5% is 5%, but there's possibility that we might be able to look at bringing Petrifia in. If it were, I'll put it this way: if it was Frozen Banshee, it would be an instant lock. And there's still some debate. I know there was some ineffective testing about Petrifia versus Frozen Banshee. I need to from one of my main content creators. Maybe I need to dive in and see if I can find like a niche apples to apples comparison between the two champions. To confirm if I would want to go with Petrifia over Frozen Banshee. But I do think we probably need to move on from the Kale. I mean, he brings great poisons, and I think he's a great boost early game to a clan boss team. But I think the time has come that maybe we move on and try and find a better, more consistent poisoner because um, I find myself wishing I had more damage out of him quite often. So, um, let's see. All right, we're at 20 minutes. I don't think there's too much else going on in the account. I still haven't done the masteries on Death Knight. I'm sorry, guys. I thought about doing them on camera here tonight. Let's go ahead and do it. We got 10 minutes. It shouldn't take much more than that. Now, a couple of things about masteries, and this is what I wanted to talk about when I recorded. So, um, you want to be careful just going to a website and copy pasting what their recommendations are. Now, I'm not saying that um to not do that. I'm just saying that you want to be careful about it. So, my question becomes, what do I want UDK to do? I'm reading a little bit here. I do apologize. Yeah. Okay. More risks and will be to use him to solo Dragon 25 and Ice Golem 25 with toxic gear and specific masteries. Yeah. I wonder if that's worth it. So the UDK I have on my main account is very tanky, and I built him to be an absolute boss of a tank. Um, I've mentioned this before. He was my answer when Iron Twins first came out. I basically built Ultimate Death Knight with a 1-star blessing of Brimstone, and I put huge amounts of resistance on him, and he was able to basically survive the entire fight, and we would eventually kill the boss with Brimstone procs. Then they nerfed Brimstone, and because he was all resistance and no accuracy, it didn't land anymore, and therefore that plan of mine was kind of ruined. Now on this account, I I think I'm gonna build him as a support. Um, be, because that's what I need the most right now. I could build him as a tank. I could build him as a solo farmer. Maybe. Remember, the gear on the account is pretty weak. Yes, we've got him in some 5-star gear, but I don't know that he has the necessary stats or the gear set to survive and tank. Plus, we're not going to be able to book him out anytime soon. So I'm probably going to go for more of a support build so that we can land the decrease attacks and get the big shields out of him. So that's probably the direction that I'm going to go. Um, and I do think I'm gonna go the War Master route on him. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I am gonna go the War Master route on him. This was the biggest part that I questioned. Do I want to go defense and support tree, or do I want to give him some damage? I'm gonna get some damage on him and go the DPS route. Or not DPS route, sorry. The War Master route so that he can get some boss damage in. And we're gonna start rotating him in and seeing what difference he can make with these masteries. So we are gonna go for some accuracy because we want that decreased attack. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's just not high. It has to not be highlighted here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want shield bearer. That'd be stupid to not get shield bearer. Okay. Um, Now obviously I'm doing exactly what I told you guys not to do. Um, but I kind of know these are the masteries that I want. Um, if you're newer to the game and you have a certain idea of how you want to use your champion, make sure you're kind of looking at what you want beforehand. So I know I want Shield Bearer because I want to increase the shields that he casts. He also gives me healing. I want to increase that as well. And then we want accuracy and stuff so we can land the decreased attack and the fear. He's probably going to see a lot of play in my arena team as well. So we want to be able to be placing those fears. This is also not a complete solo build, but it opens the doorway a little bit to the solo build with that War Master that we have on him. So I'm okay kind of starting here. I feel like if I went with like a tanky support build, um, you know, I'm repeating the build that I already did, and um, B, I just don't really need it right now. Like I built him in high resist. Um, I may go back to that because I love him. The build I have him in for Hydra is really solid. He's really high resist and very slow, so he keeps his buffs on him. So the head that seals buffs only targets him. But that's a video for another day. I am going to go ahead and call this a video here. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.